In the studio we have K.C. Singh and a former ambassador Lalit Man Singh. Thank you both very much for joining us. Sir, if I can start with you. Should they meet at all under this atmosphere? The Pakistan army is taking on the terrorists, the Taliban, really seriously. But on the other side, they seem to think there's a good terrorist and a bad terrorist. A good one is somebody who attacks India. Should we meet them at all?
Well, I think it's a good idea to meet. It'll be an act of statesmanship, not an act of capitulation. After all, I maintain that we should never be in a position where we say we don't have an official dialogue with a neighboring country, right, and a neighbor like Pakistan. And I think when the Prime Minister meets Zardari, he should say exactly what he said in Parliament in response to the President's address, that if Pakistan is sincere in destroying the instrumentalities of terrorism directed against us, we have no problem in resuming the dialogue. He should tell him as it is, but not to say that we are compromising our position.
But we have been saying, Mr. Singh, that we will only meet them after they show some seriousness. Have they shown any seriousness? Are we capitulating?
I think we have to, if you take the last 11 years, 6 years of NDA, 5 years of UPA, time and again, I call Pakistan a serial offender. You engage them, then there's a big incident, Kargil, Parliament attack in their term, 2006 train bombings, and now the 26/11 monstrosity. Each time the dialogue process starts and then a bigger act comes. Twice their president, who was a military dictator, January of 2002, and then again in 2006 when the anti-terror mechanism was set up, assured us that Pakistan, the territory of Pakistan should not be allowed to be used by anyone to perpetrate these acts. This time, I think we got much greater evidence than you've ever had in the past,
that it was
and may ever
Mumbai
get in the future.
Right.
You have a witness, you have an electronic trail.
So you feel we should not speak to them?
You should not speak at Prime Minister's level. What we say is, let them roll back. My fear is that tomorrow after the meeting, Pakistan may say, now we are filing an appeal in case of Hafiz Saeed.
So, but on the other hand, you see bomb attacks in Pakistan every day. They don't seem to have control on the terrorists within their own country. If they attack India, can you blame the Pakistan government? Maybe it's out of their control, or do you think it's supported by them? That's the key point.
I think in case of national security, you have to go on the basis of capacity or the lack of it. Intent is variable. It's not for us to judge the intent. Now, if we see that certain steps are not being taken, it is not an argument that were the Pakistan state to take all the steps, there would be no attack in India. There may still be an attack, but at least you would have the Pakistan state on your side. At the moment...
But sir, what's your response to that? Do you feel the Pakistan state is actually out of control?
I respect Casey's views, but the fact is that Pakistan is a fractured country. Pakistan is under multiple controls. That's the reality of Pakistan. Pakistan is suffering terrorism as much as it is promoting terrorism. That's the reality.
Is it actually promoting terrorism? That's the issue. Is the state actively promoting terrorism or turning a blind eye?
We have seen this as a matter of policy, that they make a distinction between the terrorists, and they include the Taliban now, and they call the terrorists who are causing us trouble in Kashmir as freedom fighters.
This
duality has continued.
The good terrorist and the bad terrorist, the freedom fighter and the terrorist.
But the point is, that is the reality. Should we just close our eyes and say, we don't want to see this? Or should we make an effort to give them notice saying, unless you actually destroy the instruments of
meet, sir, when they do, what will it achieve?
It will achieve one thing, that as John F. Kennedy once said, we shouldn't talk out of fear, but we shouldn't be afraid of talking.
Right.
I think we should talk and convey this message.
What is the harm of talking?
We should